I'm a Catholic. I'm a renegade Catholic. But that doesn't change the notion that I am still of you. And I find it interesting when somebody's saying the Catholics need to vote for him. And it's like, well, you shouldn't be saying that. The Pope should be saying that. You see, that's how it worked in World War II. The Pope, he just sat there and he said, well, I guess they're going to kill all the Jews. And he let them go. He somehow endorsed the thing. But it was different. But the thing about being a renegade Catholic that I like, you see, I was on a path. I had a vocational calling. I was to be a priest. And there, as an altar boy in the sacristy, Monsignor Francis T. Kaminsky, the guy that's got his name on the side of the gymnasium now at the St. Mary's High School in Gaylord, he looked at me and he said, God won't bless you anymore. And I said, God, a man I revered. And why? Because he said, so Archie, is your dad sending you to St. Mary's again this year? I said, no, Monsignor. I said, he's sending us to the public school. It was the first day of school. I'd ridden my bike to do altar boy, 7 a.m. mass, so I could get to school on time for the first day. And that's when he told me God wouldn't bless me anymore and just filled me with a bunch of stuff. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're going to say this to an 11-year-old kid? Hey, you wonder why it is I don't know what to do with my life? It's because I knew what to do. And Monsignor Kaminsky acted as an agent of the fucking chaos and threw me out into the world. Let's see what he does now if he can't sit here with me. I am a Catholic, a renegade Catholic. I am of you. And when he called back a couple weeks later and said, could I come back to being an altar boy? And I said, no. It was the beginning of a new life for me. See, if I'd have followed that path to the priesthood, I'd have been in the Bahamas banging waitresses. And that can only last so long before somebody turns you in. Instead, I was cast out. I was exiled from Catholicism, the universal way. Yeah, they're seeking universality, but they're not getting it from me. And I am stardust. I got to go see things in different ways. I got to see other people's belief systems without being fearful that it would stand against my own faith. Because at that point, I had no faith. But some years later, what I realized is I do have faith. We all have faith. We have faith in ourselves if we're allowed to recognize it. And these religions, they try to take that faith away and organize it. You need to have faith through us. No, have faith in yourself and you'll be okay, type of thing, you know. Catholicism. And it crossed my mind yesterday morning. Something about it. So I wrote it all down. I took notes. I don't know how it's going to go. You know, once I start writing notes, I start writing too many things. Wait, there's something else coming. If you want to believe in the idea that Catholicism is in the path of supporting Catholicism, you look at him. What? Me worry? That's the one I grew up with. That's Pope John Paul II. He's the one that, in that book, Behold the Pale Horse, talks about how he was selling chemicals to the Nazis to kill the Jews, and the church hid him, and he escalated to the top. So, yeah, I'm a Catholic. I am of you. And I'm here to let you know that if you're a new Catholic, be very careful. Be very careful, because if you are an adult, I've seen it many times. If you are an adult that decides they're choosing Catholicism, you're the kind of guy that takes it wholeheartedly. Like there's a belief you're making an intended life-changing decision. You love this and the principles and everything. And I'll tell you, I talk to you as soon as you become a new adult Catholic, you'll usually go, and you argue. And then it's just like anybody moving to Gaylord that says Gaylord, Michigan is a great place to be. You say, talk to me in 6 months. Next time you talk to them, they're like, I gotta fucking get out of here. So know this, if you're a new Catholic, I know you love it. You love it, you love it. But for those of us that have grown up with it, I haven't left it behind. I'm keeping an eye on you. I know you changed peace be with you and also with you to peace be with you and with your spirit. What the fuck? And people say, I say, I know it, but I'm not changing it because the English language hasn't changed. Everything changes in these things. And the followers only support the things they want. They were promised there'd be no gay marriage. All of a sudden there's gay marriage at the Vatican. Fanti gone. You know, it's like, now what do we do? Catholicism. And I wrote this thing down yesterday. I'm only getting to it now. It's about sin and crime in Catholicism. Sin and crime. We talk about how if you're thinking about something, then it's a sin. Let's say you're talking about banging somebody. It's a sin. And it's like, oh, but I didn't even do it. And I've come to understand why they put it that way. Because they know their followers. I mean, they know most Catholics turn out to be alcoholics. And how do they handle it? And what kind of way do they handle these ideas when they become alcoholics? Are they happy drunks? Are they people that lose their mind and go total reptilian? Are there people that lose their mind, go totally reptilian, that just sit there and giggle at everything? Laying there on a warm rock, watching the world fucking burn? I mean, look at what people think about in their imagination, in their dreams even. You know, beating, raping, murdering. I guess if you know that your followers are going to be alcoholics and you don't know how they're going to respond when they get drunk, if they've got that shit going on, you're not supposed to drink if you have evil thoughts. It releases your inhibitions. They know you're going to go out there and beat and rape and everybody. And it's not like they mind you beating and raping people because that gives more babies to the church. However, it might be your fucking mistress that they're in beating and raping. I mean, how do you keep control of this shit? And you know, it's like only in my dreams. These things, they rarely die. These people I'm beating and stabbing. I told you one a few weeks ago where I cut a guy fucking in half with a chainsaw, except it went across the front of his damn spine, so it didn't cut him, and he just said, I've shot goddamn Leatherface running across a field. I'm like, you just can't kill him. They keep going. I've killed Freddy Krueger. I've killed Jason, but in the woods. I put my fucking fingers in his eyes and his head exploded. But he was back in school the next day. But comes a point, if what you start dreaming, this is what the Catholics are worried about. What are you thinking when nobody's looking? You might be coming after me because I'm an asshole and I perturb you to no end. You can't stop thinking of me even when you're fucking smoking a cigarette on break. I mean, it's like there's a brutal way that would kill in real life, but nobody fucking dies. And that's okay then, right? Oh, well, it's seemingly like it wouldn't be a problem if it's just in a dream. You're just thinking about it. No problem to God, no problem to Catholic faith. You're just thinking things. They can't take your free thoughts away. But suddenly it turns out you're a sleepwalker. You thrash in your sleep and strangle people. There's your thought becoming a fucking sin and a crime. I mean, I did warn Victoria when we first got together. I said, I thrash, I scream, and I strangle. And she was afraid to sleep with me for a very long time. As it turned out, she told me later she was always nervous drifting off to sleep. But it turns out I got nothing against her. She's going to be okay. But whose fault is it that I think these things? Who is it that forced me on my very first confession before First Communion, forced me to lie about a sin that I had done, because I'm like, if I don't have a good sin, he's going to think I'm a liar, and I'd feel guilty about that. God doesn't like liars. So, all I'm saying, Catholicism, the way you all fuckers are alcoholics and under the board drinking the Moken David in the sacristy, if you have bad thoughts, it may be held as a crime because it's just going to happen the next day.